morning, everybody. We are family, and we're more closely related than you think. We're about to delve deeper into our own Jennifer Valentine and Kevin Frankish's family history. Kev's off today, but he said, please share the information. He's been dying to know. Here to tell us about Ancestry DNA is Julie Granka to my left, and beside you is Lesley Anderson. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's get right to it. First of all, what does this test entail? You're sent a kit like Sessoir? Let's give up on the French. And what you do is you spit into this little wee vial, and then you quickly send it off. All of the mailing and posting and all those fees are included. How soon until you get results?
It's about 6 to 8 weeks. So it's a new test that we're offering that enables you to learn more about your family history and build your family tree without necessarily being bound by historical records that your ancestors may or may not have left. So just through this simple DNA test, you can learn more about where your ancestors might have lived hundreds of thousands of years ago. You can get in touch with relatives or ancestors you never even knew you had, just through a simple saliva test. And that's because, just to explain a little bit how it works is, since you got your DNA from your parents, and your parents got their DNA from their parents, your DNA is sort of a mosaic of where your ancestors might have come from. So you can learn a lot about your ancestors just through your DNA.
What about people who are afraid about privacy issues? Is this information shared, and how do they protect themselves with that?
So we take privacy really seriously at Ancestry. We know that it's an important concern that people might have. So all of your results are completely anonymous. All of the results are de-identified, and we take a lot of privacy concerns to make sure that your DNA information is secure and to making sure that your privacy is upheld to the highest standard.
So much so, once people get them, if they're uncomfortable, you could delete the whole file and it's gone.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's first talk about Kevin Frankish. What did you find?
Yeah, so we had some interesting results. We have it pulled up anywhere. I don't know if I remember it.
Yeah, it looks like all of his ancestors hailed from Europe.
So, he always says he feels like he's Italian. He's like, in another life, I was Italian.
Almost half of his ethnicity is from the British Isles, and the biggest proportion is from Great Britain. Then 28% followed by Ireland, just over a quarter of his ethnicity. Likely over half of his ancestors came from those regions. So that's really cool to think that you might have even had the perception that you were from Italy or something like that, but then we've identified these, to our best knowledge, these regions that historically will show migration patterns and where his deep ancestry is from.
It continues through many generations over centuries, as opposed to stopping at your great-great-grandfather.
Yeah, we look at about 2,000 years for ethnicity.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Okay, now Jennifer Valentine is live. She's parkouring. And Jen, I know you've been anxiously awaiting your results. Are you ready?
Way back.
Okay, we only heard a little bit. We heard way back, but she's interested to hear. Ready?
Yes.
She's listening.
Okay, so Jen, you look like all of your ancestors hail from Europe, and more than 50% is Irish, so from Ireland, which isn't a surprise. We worked on Jen's tree with Ancestry, and that is really supporting that they are from Ireland. And she also has 8% Great Britain ethnicity, suggesting that she's got ancestors from other areas of the UK. What's interesting is she's 35% Europe West, which is a region which covers France, Germany, and sort of that European Western historic area as well. So she, I think her matches page is what we also do in addition to ethnicity, is show her ancestor matches. So it's really cool that you are actually connected through DNA, and it'll list the people who share DNA.
Okay.
So third cousins, fourth cousins, fifth cousins that share great-great-great-grandparents.
Are her and Kevin's cousins related somehow? Because I feel like they have a lot of in the same parts of the world, right? Like 6 degrees of each other.
Yeah, well, they could be, but in Kevin's, his matches are, his third cousins are really interesting because that's a closer match.
Okay.
And that means that all the list that matches to his third cousins are his great-great-grandparents. Somehow that DNA came down through his great-great-grandparents.
Jen, what do you think? Are you surprised by any of this?
No, you know what? Yeah, I am actually. I'm kind of fascinated how far they can go back, and they can actually match you up with people, look at their family tree, and they all connect. So Leslie's been working on my family tree since 2011, so nice to see you, Lesley. We found out a lot of stuff, you know, secrets in the family, who you're related to, and my grandmother was adopted, wasn't adopted, she grew up in an orphanage, so we actually, we were able to find out who her mother was, so that was really interesting to me. But yeah, all fascinating, and I can't believe I'm related to Kevin Frankish.
Wait, so Jen,
Leslie has another bit of information for you, Jen.
So Jen, we found through your ethnicity that you're 6% European Jewish. So at some point in your history, you were Jewish.
Mazel tov!
Yeah, mazel tov.
That is so cool. Now, Jen also completed quite a bit about her family tree. If you can map some of that out, it assists in how much knowledge you're able to retrieve, right?
Yeah, so and everybody has the opportunity to link their DNA, test their family tree, and then what we do is when we search for people's DNA, we look at over 850,000 people in our database. We can look for people who might be related, and then when doing that, we can actually search for their family trees and find ancestors that they might have in common, so they actually know how they're related, which is really
so neat.
exciting.
I know a lot of people are going to ask, how do we find out? DNA AncestryProject.com. We'll be back with more BT right after this.